Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees and pranams. Thank you very much for joining in for our Ramayana study session today. Let's start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakamelam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Namne Gauradvushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yadkripatamaham mande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Shri Krishna Chaitanyamishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, Dhanat Pranams, thank you for joining in for our Ramayana study session. We are on that particular phase of Ramayana wherein Bharat is now coming looking for Lord Ram. Then he meets Guha first, and then Guha is now helped Bharat to come to Bharadwaj Rishi's ashram, where Bharat is asking, where can I find Lord Ram? Right? And at every point, Bharat has to kind of prove himself that he is now come to take Lord Ram, or to request Lord Ram to ask him to come back to Ayodhya. So he wanted Lord Ram to rule. So every time when he had to say that, tears were flowing from his eyes, right? Because he had to prove his loyalty to his own brother, right? And several instances it is mentioned that I'll die, right, before I could cause any kind of injustice to Lord Ram, right? So in that way we see that everyone is performing their swadharma to the T, right? And now you also see that Kaikeyi also has transformed now, and she is also accompanied Kaushalya and Sumitra and Bharata and Shatrughna and all of them are now going to seek out Ram, to ask Lord Ram to come back to Ayodhya. And how Bharadwaj Rishi is going to help Bharat to find out where Lord Ram is. That's where we're going to start today. Let's continue reading. Okay, so let me see anyone is raising the hands. Karpamali Mataji, go ahead. Bharadwaj gazed at Bharata.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Bharadwaja gazed at Bharata, whom he recognized as Rama's brother. The sage knew by his own mystic vision that Dasratha was dead. After inquiring about the situation in Ayodhya, the sage asked Bharata, "What brings you all this way, leaving aside the onerous business of managing the state? Because of your mother's words, you are ruling the world as its undisputed monarch. I trust you that you have not come here with some dark intention toward the sinless and perfect Rama. The sage words cut into Bharata. Tears flowed from his eyes as he replied in a hurt voice. If even you impute such motives to me, then I am truly renewed. I never approved my mother's aims. I cannot even imagine doing harm to Rama, nor will I ever accept the kingdom. Feeling that no one would believe his innocence, Bharata felt despair. He folded his he, fo-
Hands.
he folded his sorry Mataji, one minute. He folded his hands and spoke imploringly. The powerful Rama is true ruler of all of this earth. I have come here to bring him back to Ayodhya. Falling at his feet, I shall make him return and then remain here in his place. All-knowing sage, please be gracious to me and show me where Rama is staying. Bharata's sincerity was obvious. The all-knowing Bharadwaja smiled. He placed his hand upon Bharata's head, who sat before him deeply and said, I surely knew of your intention and spoke only to heighten your resolve and indeed your fame. You are a worthy member of your royal line, a prince of, O prince, and you are always dedicated to the service of your elders. Your devotion to Rama is beyond doubt. The sage assured Bharata that he would point out Rama's whereabouts. He asked the prince to stay the night at his hermitage and leave the following morning. Bharata agreed, and the sage then offered to feed the entire army. Astonished, the Bharata said, we have already received sufficient hospitality from you, kind sir. As a forest dweller, you need only to offer simple fruits, and this you have done. My army is vast and occupies a huge area of land. If I brought them here, they would all but wreck this holy site. Mataji, scan this room. Commanded by the sage, Bharata
Bharadwaj
assented.
laughed and replied, Hari
Sorry,
Bol.
Mataji. Bharadwaja laughed and replied, have your army brought here forthwith. You should not doubt my ability to receive them, nor will they be any trouble at all. Commanded by the sage, Bharata assented. Sending back one of his men, he had the army approach the hermitage. As he moved slowly through the forest, Bharadwaja sat in meditation. By uttering Vedic mantras, he invoked the presence of the principal gods. He then requested them to provide hospitality to the divine prince and his army. Seated in trance, the sage said within himself, let the sacred rivers bear to this region all kinds of celestial beverages. Let the moon god bring every sort of excellent cooked food. May the heavenly architect Vishwakarma create a suitable site for receiving the army. May Indra send all his apsaras along with the Gandharva clans to entertain these troops. As Bharadwaja invoked various divine beings with perfectly pronounced sacred hymns, they all appeared before him. A cool and delightfully fragrant breeze began to flow. Thick showers of flowers fell from the heavens, and the sound of celestial music was heard. As the Gandharvas sang and played upon the Venas, host of Apsaras danced. All Bhardas encouraged who had assembled at the hermitage felt their hearts moved by exquisite sights and sound seen and heard everywhere. Before everyone's eyes, the entire area around the hermitage changed wonderfully, and for a radius of 40 miles, and the ground became even carpeted with soft blue grass. Numerous types of fruit trees sprang up, full of ripe fruits, mangoes, guavas, peaches, melons, and innumerable other soft and hard fruits were seen. All alongside streams of crystal clear water stood large white mansions furnished with seats and couches. A great palace appeared and looked like a white cloud and had a large arched doorway. Delicious food and drink were laid down in these spacious buildings. With Bharadwaja's permissions, Bharata entered the palace, which was adorned with countless flower garlands and sprinkled with scents. Seeing a golden throne, Bharata simply walked around it and sat on the seat next to it, surrounded by his chief ministers. Streams of sweetened milk and cream flowed past the palace. By Bharadwaja's mystic power, trees in the hermitage came to life and began playing upon different musical instruments. Some of them assumed the form of dwarfs and began to move about in haste. serving Bharata and his army. All around there appeared thousands of golden vessels containing food of every description. Heaps of steaming white rice were seen along the tanks filled with milk and drinks and yogurt. Pots of honey and large jars filled with intoxicating drinks stood next to the platters containing delicious sweet meats. Beautiful young maidens attended upon the soldiers, washing them, massaging their feet and bodies with fragrant oils. These celestial damsels, all adorned in pure silk garments, served the men food in golden plates. Being maddened with pleasure, the troops laughed loudly and ran about in all directions. They praised Bharata and Rama again and again as they partook of every kind of enjoyable thing. Although they ate and drank huge amounts, they found that they were still not sated. Their senses and minds became more and more enlivened and they felt renewed and refreshed. Even the army's animals were carefully tended and given all kinds of food and drink by the celestial beings invoked by Bharadwaja. As the night ended, the troops saw before them numerous items of toiletry, lots of hot water along with soaps and enguments in silver and wooden cases appeared. Combs and brushes, talcs and shining mirrors were in abundance, as well as fresh clothes, shoes, and all kinds of ornaments. As the men bathed and put on their clothes and armor, the gods and apsaras left the hermitage and returned to heaven. The army was astonished by the night's event, which seemed like a dream. They looked around at the hermitage, which had returned to its normal appearance. Everything has disappeared except for the celestial garlands strewn about, which, although crushed, were as fresh as fresh then as they had been at the beginning of at the night. As the sun rose, Bharata went to Bharadwaja. After the sage's morning prayer, the prince bowed down before him and asked his permission to leave. Bharadwaja blessed him and said, I trust you and your followers spent an enjoyable night. Please tell me if there is anything else I can do for you. Bharata thanked him for his hospitality and asked to be shown the way toward Rama's hut in the woods. The sage smiled and said, there is a mountain some 20 miles from here named Chitrakuta, full of lovely caves and groves. On the northern side of this mountain, shaded by blossom trees, flows the Mandakani River. There, by that river, you will find your two brothers. As the sage spoke, Kausalya and Mitra got down from the chariot and clasped their feet. They thanked him profusely as they anticipated seeing Rama. Kaikeyi also came to the sage and shamefully bowed before him. Feeling guilty at his heart, looking at her with compassion, the sage asked Bharata, please tell me who are these noble ladies? Bharata indicated Kausalya, saying, this godly lady is the mother of the lion like Rama. Afflicted with grief, she is emaciated with fasting. Clinging to her arm is the celebrated Sumitra, is the mother of Lakshman and Satrugna, and those two great heroes. Becoming angry, hissing like cobra as he spoke, Partha indicated Kaikeyi. This one here is my own mother, the wicked and vulgar Kaikeyi. It was by her institute the great emperor Dasharatha died from anguish, and the mighty Rama now resides in a lonely mountain reach. Bharadwaja, who knew the plans of the gods and divine arrangements of the Supreme Lord, said to Bharata, you should not censure your mother, O great prince. Do not think her guilty, for Rama's banishment will result in good for the entire universe. Indeed, it will bring happiness to the gods, demons, and rishis, along with the whole of the creation. Bharata blushed deeply.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So we see that whatever it seems to the external eyes, right? We always see that whatever happens only by the will of the Lord, by the permission of the Lord, and it is for the ultimate good, right? Whatever that is happening by the mercy of the Lord, right? Everything is happening by the mercy of the Lord, and not even a blade of grass can move without the permission of the Lord. So in that case, although we have the free will to do what we like, and we will get the reactions for what we have done. So whatever we do according to our free will, we will definitely get the reactions of what we have done, right? If you've done some pious activities, we'll get the positive credits. If we do an impious act, we'll get the negative sinful reactions for it, right? But then everything in this world is relative. There is no absolute good except the Supreme Personality of Godhead, except the Supreme Absolute Truth. right? The worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything else is relative, right? Because according to Kaikeyi, she was doing the greatest benediction or greatest blessing for Bharata. But Bharata felt that the same act was very, very bad for him to even accept and digest that his own mother did that to him, right? So the same fact, different people have different perspectives to it. But then ultimately we should understand everything as a mercy of the Lord. Everything has its benefit for certain people. And if we see the consolidated, it is for the benefit of the entire world, right? Because when does the Lord appear? When the Lord appears itself, it's for the benefit of all the people, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever dharma is established, all the people who follow dharma are benefited, isn't it? So in this way, Bharadwaj Rishi tells Bharat not to like pinpoint to Kaikeyi, right? Because whatever is happening, right, although we are responsible for our individual actions, whatever is happening ultimately will be for the purification and for the benefit of the entire universe. Okay, Bharata blushed deeply. Yeah, Deval Mataji, go ahead. And then Shobha Mataji and then Sudha Mataji. Yeah.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji. Bharata
Very
blushed deeply. He had been piercing his mother with angry. Can you hear me, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yep, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Bharata blushed deeply. He had been piercing his mother with angry looks, and he felt rebuked by the sage. Unable to immediately subdue his anger, he averted his gaze and tried to assimilate Bharadwaja's instructions. He stood up and walked respectfully around the sage. Receiving his permission to leave, Bharata ordered the army to depart and mounted upon his chariot. Guha accompanied the two princes. As a huge mass of men moved off through the woods, they made a great noise, terrifying the deer and birds dwelling there. Slowly approaching the Chitrakuta mountain, they all thought only of Ram, longing to see him again. Rama remains firm. 3 months had passed since Rama had settled on the Chitrakuta mountain. Living peacefully in their thatched cottage, Rama, along with Lakshmana and Sita, was happy. From their hut, they could see the top of the mountain, some of which was yellow, some red as madder, some glittering silver, and some blue-green like a shining emerald. Thousands of other subtle hues shone on the side of the great mountain, and it teemed with deer of every description and hosts of harmless tigers, leopards, and bears. Trees laden with flowers and fruits were crowded with varieties of colorful and sweetly singing birds. Clear rivulets flowed from countless springs and waterfalls sparkled in the sunshine. Rama felt gladdened at heart to see all this, and sitting at ease on the porch of his hut, he spoke with Sita. Look at the Kinnaras as they sport on these delightful slopes, having descended from their own planets. See all the Vidyadharas and Gandharvas courting their women folk after hanging their swords and other weapons from the boughs of trees. This place is finer even than heaven. Surely we will easily spend 14 summers here as if they were a month. Sita smiled. She felt joyful to be living with Ram. Despite its simplicity, she liked forest life, preferring it even to her like life of luxury in the city. She looked down at the Mandakini river, where lines of ascetics clad only in loincloths stood in the water with their arms upraised as they worshipped the sun. A cool breeze carried the aroma of tree blossoms, which cascaded on all sides of the mountain. On the sandy bank of the river Heavenly, siddhas were appearing and disappearing, moving about in delight. Further down the river, she saw a group of elephants standing amid the red and white lotuses as they drank the clear water. Rama continued, "Let us take our midday bath in the river, O princess. With you by my side, I do not miss any of my relatives or even Ayodhya itself. Your beauty puts to shame the so-called beauty of these heavenly damsels, and it gives me newer and newer pleasure." Rama looked at his brother, who stood at a distance holding his bow. The godly Lakshman stands over there, equipped with weapons and ready to carry out my every command. Living on the delicious forest where he gathers, we reside here most forest where he gathers. We reside here most happily, dear Sita. What more could I desire, even if I lived in Ayodhya? Rama and Sita descended to the river and found a secluded spot to take their bath. After bathing and sporting for some time in the cool waters, they came out and sat in the sun on a large flat rock. As Rama conversed with Sita, he noticed in the distance a cloud of dust rising to the sky. Looking around, he saw frightened animals running in all directions and heard a terrific noise, which became progressively louder. Rama called out to his brother, "Lakshman, what do you think is causing this disturbance? A sound like a terrible crash of thunder is coming from the north. Is some kind of a king or prince out hunting in the forest followed by his army? Or is it some vast herd of beasts on the move? Please go and see." Lakshman immediately climbed a tall tree and looked all around. Fixing his gaze on the north, he saw in the distance a large army crowd crowded with elephants, horses, and chariots, and joined with a mass of marching foot soldiers. He shouted to Rama and informed him, "Let's see, quickly find a cave." Lakshman advised Ram, "Extinguish the fire so that the smoke will not be seen. We too shall stand here, clothed in mail and holding a praised weapon, for a powerful army approaches." Rama, who was not at all fearful, replied to Lakshman, "Look carefully at the ensigns. Try to determine whose army you think it might be." Lakshman stared at the head of the army and saw a tall ensign waving in the breeze, bearing the emblem of a Kovidara tree. The prince became infuriated and looked at the army as if he might consume it with his gaze alone. "Clearly, this is Bharata's army," he exclaimed. "I see there the mark of the Kovidara. Evidently, he has secured the throne of Ayodhya and now desires to attain undisputed sovereignty by killing us both. Even now, I see swift horses going ahead to seek us out." Lakshman seethed with anger. It is fortunate indeed that I shall now see Bharata's face, for whose sake you are enduring this forest life, deprived of your sovereign rights. Surely he has come here as an enemy, and as such deserves to be killed outright. I see no sin in this action, O Ram, for Bharata has sorely wronged you." Lakshman descended from the tree and picked up his weapons. He held his sword aloft. "Today Kaikai, who is so desirous of the kingdom, will be seized with sorrow when she sees her son slain by me. I shall then kill her also. Let the earth drink the blood of all these warriors. Beasts of prey will drag about the corpses of elephants and horses, as well as of thousands of men pierced by my arrows. Killing Bharata along with his army, I will repay my debt to my weapons." Rama replied gravely to the enraged Lakshman, "These sentiments do not befit you, dear brother. The mighty Bharata has come here longing to see us, and you wish to greet him with weapons? I have given my word of honor to remain in the forest. How then can I forcefully take the kingdom from Bharata, thereby gaining a sovereignty stained with infamy?" Feeling admonished by his brother, Lakshman looked down and sheathed his sword. Rama continued, "I will never accept a royal fortune won at the cost of the death of my kinsmen. Indeed, I would only accept the kingdom for the pleasure of and protection of my relatives, for I have no personal desire for sovereignty. If any joy should come to me that is not enjoyed by yourself, Bharata, or Shatrughna, then let it be reduced to ashes." Rama knew Bharata's heart. Bharata was no less devoted to him than Lakshman. He could understand why his brother had come to see him. He also longed to see Bharata. Comforting Lakshman, Rama said, "When Bharata heard of my exile, I am sure he would have felt his heart overwhelmed with affection and his mind distracted by grief. After censuring Kaikai with harsh words, he no doubt left Ayodhya intent on bringing me back. Of this I feel certain." Lakshmana felt ashamed to have spoken angrily about Bharata. He remembered the close and loving relationships the four brothers had enjoyed in childhood. Rama was right. Bharata could not possibly have come in a martial spirit. Lakshman blushed as Rama continued, "I cannot imagine Bharata harming us even in his mind." Rama said gently, "Has he somehow previously offended you, dear brother, so that you wax so wrathful towards him now? If you are set upon the slaughter of Bharata, then I shall order him to hand over the kingdom to you this very day. Certainly he will remain here in your place, clad in tree barks, while you rule over this broad earth." Lakshman shrank with shame. It had been wrong of him to think so badly of Bharata. There were never a time when any malice or envy had been seen in that prince. Lakshman tried to make amends for his previous outburst. "It must be so, as you say, dear Rama. I think the mighty armed emperor himself has personally come here, accompanied by Bharata. Our father will doubtlessly try to persuade us to return, handing you the sovereignty refused by Bharata. Indeed, I saw father's gigantic elephant Shatrunjaya rocking about at the head of the army as it marched." Then, from the vantage point on the mountainside, Rama said, could see the army coming into view. Spotting the king's elephant, he felt a sudden apprehension. Why was there no white umbrella held over its back? Shatrunjaya would not have come out without the king, unless that is there was no king. Rama was fearful. Along with Lakshman and Sita, he waited near his hut for Bharata's arrival. When they reached the mountain, Bharata, yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you, Dandavat Pranam. So it's very obvious, right? Of course, initially Lakshmana feels that maybe Bharat has come to cause harm to Rama and Lakshmana, but later on when he realizes, right, and Lord Ram knows everything, right? Does not have a sovereignty flag on top of that, which means it seems like Ayodhya still does not have a king. Dasharath Maharaj has died, and then Bharat is not accepted to become the king of Ayodhya. So that is very evident from this, because if there is a king, then that king will exhibit his sovereignty whenever the army is going. But here the army is coming because the insignia of Ayodhya is there, but nobody has claimed sovereignty over Ayodhya. So now, right now, Ayodhya does not have any king. right? It is a very fearful situation, because whom will the people turn to for any issues, and who will protect their their physical well-being, their mental well-being, their emotional well-being, their social well-being, and their spiritual well-being? It is a duty of the king. So let's see how Bharat and Lord Ram meet, and then what is their discussion. All right, Shobha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, Mataji Simpati, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Jai Shri Ram. When they reached the mountain, Bharata detailed a number of expert trackers to go in search of Rama's hermitage. He himself went ahead on horseback and began searching on foot. When he reached the dense forest on the mountainside, he accompanied by Vasishtha and other Brahmins. Bharata pressed ahead into the forest, anxious to see his brother. He said to Vasishtha, "Blessed in this mountain reach, O sage, where Rama and Sita now roam. How fortunate is Lakshmana, who always beholds the moon-like face of Rama. I long to hold Rama's feet on my head. There will be no peace for me until I see him duly consecrated and seated upon Ayodhya's throne." Bharata climbed a tall tree and gazed all around. Upon seeing a column of smoke, he surmised it to be coming from Rama's hermitage. Rejoicing, he descended quickly and he decided quickly and went in that direction. Confident that they were now close to Rama, he sent Vasishtha back to bring the queens. Then, along with Shatrughna and Guha, he went as quickly as possible up the mountain slope. As they arrived at a plateau, they suddenly burst into a clearing and saw they saw there, on a leveled piece of ground, Rama's hut. Rama and Lakshmana were sitting in front of the leafy cottage. Bharata saw the sacrificial fire placed on an altar surrounded by blades of kusha grass. Hanging on the sides of the hut were two long bows plated with gold and shining like rainbows. Large spears filled with fearful looking arrows shot by their bows, along with two great shields adorned with gold engravings. A couple of swans hung by the bow, sheathed with silver and gold. When Bharata saw Rama dressed as an ascetic, his hair matted, he let out a cry and fell prostrate, rising up. Again, he gazed with tears filled eyes at his beloved brother, who appeared like Brahma seated in his celestial assembly hall. Rama turned and smiled at Bharata, who, along with Shatrughna, was rushing towards him, stumbling even as he ran over level ground. Bharata swiftly approached Rama and fell before him. In a choked voice, he began to lament, "Alas, here is my elder brother, who deserves to sit in a royal assembly, seated now in the company of deer." Bharata cried, "What a cruel destiny! Here is the exalted soul who should wear garments worth many thousands, wearing the trees, all barks of trees. All this is on my account. Woe to me, condemned by all the world." Sobs stifled Bharata's voice as he lay near Rama, his hands stretched towards his brother's feet. His face was covered with perspiration, and he called out, "Oh, my brother, my noble brother!" Shatrughna also shed tears and bowed before Rama. Rama and Lakshmana quickly got up and closely embraced both their brothers. The four princes, coming together, appeared as if the sun and moon had conjoined, conjoined with Venus and Jupiter in the heavens. Rama asked Bharata who had brought him away from Ayodhya. Surprised to see him with matted locks and wearing a deer skin, Rama said, "Why have you come here without a father, dearest brother? I hope all is well in Ayodhya. As long as father lives, you should surely wait upon him with great attention. Still, I am glad to see you here. Although you appear pale and emaciated, why the aesthetic dress, noble Bharata? I think your love for me must be very deep." Rama gently
Hare
stroked Bharata's head, looking upon. Haribol, thank you, Mataji. Dandavats.
Thank you, Janat Pranam. So this is very interesting. Lord Ram does not know about the demise of Dasharath Maharaj, right? He is the supreme Lord. He knows everything, right? But he, like the Yoga Maya is working here, right? So that the right emotions come through. And how Lord Ram, when he understands the demise of Dasharath Maharaj, what are his emotions? What does he tell Bharat Maharaj? How he asks Bharat Maharaj to go back to Ayodhya and rule, because that was the last word of his father, and that we cannot contravene it, or we cannot go against the last instructions of our father. So like that, there's a very wonderful conversation that is going to ensue between Rama and Bharata. So let's quickly go ahead and read this. Who's reading next? Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead. Yes, Sudha Mataji, Rama gently stroked Bharata's head. Please unmute Mataji. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Elder Pranams. Rama gently stroked Bharata's head. Looking up, he saw Guha standing at a distance with folded palms, and he smiled at him. Rama was fully absorbed in loving exchanges with his friends and relatives. Feeling pain and concern to see Bharata's condition, he continued to speak. I hope you have not lost the kingdom due to immaturity and inexperience. Surely you know all the facets of diplomacy and kingly science, O powerful prince. By way of loving instruction, Rama asked after many aspects of the kingdom. He inquired if the people were properly protected, the animals cared for, the army well maintained, and the Brahmins given sufficient charity. Bharata listened respectfully as his elder brother spoke. I see all. 1 minute, Mataji. I see here all my mothers, said Rama. Indeed, it seems that the entire kingdom of Koshala has accompanied you, dear Bharata. This gives rise to grave doubts in my mind. Please tell me why you have all arrived here today, for you have aroused my curiosity. Bharata knelt before Rama, clasping his feet. Dear Rama, the act perpetrated by my mother was wicked and never approved by me. Casting you into the forest and afflicting the whole of Ayodhya with unbearable pain, she hoped to see me installed as the king. This will never happen. Please return now with us, O Raghava, and take your rightful position as ruler of this world. Be kind to me and to all these people, O tiger among men. Rama felt compassion for Bharata. He questioned him. He questioned him again. What need is there for you adopting this mode of ascetic life, dear Bharata? The order of our father is that you become the king. I too stand enjoined by our father to remain here in the forest. Our pious father's order is supreme. Therefore, without censuring your mother Kaikeyi, you should enjoy the kingdom. For myself, I am happier staying here in obedience to our father than I would be in attaining to the imperishable abode of Brahma. Bharata's head sank. He knew his elder brother's mind. It would be impossible to convince Rama to transgress an order given by his elders. Still, he felt impelled to try. He could not possibly take the throne in place of Rama. With a heavy heart, Bharata informed Rama of what had happened in Ayodhya. While I was away in the Kekaya kingdom and you had already gone to the forest, our glorious father ascended to heaven. Thinking only of you and lost in grief at your separation, the king left his mortal body. Now, by the time honored rule, you, as the elder son, should inherit the kingdom. There cannot be any doubt on this point. As he heard for the first time the news of his father's death, Rama felt as if heart had been pierced. Raising his arms and crying out, he sank to the ground like a tree filled with blossoms cut at its root. He lay motionless with the color drained from his face. Bharata quickly sprinkled him with cool water. Rama sat up and held his head, wailing piteously. With my father dead and gone, what shall I do in Ayodhya? Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Subbarao Prabhu, on Monday, we will ask you to read Prabhu because we were supposed to end at 11:45 today. So because I have just go for a Sudarshan Yajna here in Pune. So it's very nice, the discussion between Bharata and Ram, isn't it? Ram is now getting to hear for the first time about the demise of his father, right? So he is thinking, why are the entire Ayodhya Vasis are here, right from the three mothers, Bharata, Shatrughna, everybody is here, and of course the Supreme Lord also to just experience that emotion of what Bharata has to say and how he is going to react to that. Right? The Lord is also seemingly not knowing what has happened to Dashrath Maharaj and what happened to the Ayodhya Vasis and how Ayodhya has become desolate and bereft of a protector. Right? They were wondering why does the sovereign flag also not there? Right? While the insignia is there. So in this way, the discussion between Rama and Bharata continues. And now after hearing this, Lord Ram is already clearly told, even before knowing that Dashrath Maharaj is no more, he is already told that according to the instructions of the father, I should be in the forest. Why are you dressed in the bark and deer skin and matted hair? Right? You should be ruling the kingdom. So that is the opinion of Lord Ram even before the demise of Dashrath Maharaj. What to speak of this being the last instruction of Dashrath Maharaj, right? This was what he told in the end, the last of his instructions, although he did not want to give that instruction because he was bound by the promise that he had given to Kaikeyi, whatever be the circumstances, the order of the father is supreme most, and especially this is the last order by Dasharath Maharaj. So what does Lord Ram tell Bharat, who is asking him to come back to Ayodhya? So the conversation will continue next Wednesday. On Monday, Tuesday, we will continue with our Srimad Bhagavatam study. Grantaraj Sri Ramayana ki jai. So we'll request devotees switch on your cameras. We'll quickly do 2-3 minutes Harinam Sankirtan. Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavan Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram Patita Pavan Sita Ram Jai Gauranitai Jaya Jai Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pata Gami Nayana Pata Gami Bhavatu Me Jaya Jaya Jagannath Swami Jai Jagannath Jai Baladeva Jai Subhadra Jaya Jaya Sudarshan Jaya Bala Gopal Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Lakshmi Narsinga Jaya Rukmini Vittal Jai Guru Ayurappa Jaya Radha Krishna Radha Kunja Vihari Radhe Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Vrindavan Chandra Radhe Jaya Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Jaya Sadguru Swami Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण शत्रुघ्न हनुमान जी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्री रामायण की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। So thank you very much devotees. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. So thank you very much dear devotees for joining in. We'll meet you all tomorrow morning 4:30 a.m. for the Brahma Muhurta chanting session. And then again on Sunday and then on Monday, where we also meet for a Srimad Bhagavatam study session. Thank you very much.